How's it going, everybody? I hope you're having a good day. A few years ago, I walked away from a couple of relationships with people whom I cared about very deeply, even considered family. For many years, we were really tight. In fact, I considered both of these people brothers. And over the years, we shared a lot in those relationships. It was a deep friendship. We shared secrets. We shared stories. But eventually things began to change, as they sometimes do, and over the years these relationships became toxic. It's never really one person's fault. There's usually a little bit of guilt on both sides as far as that goes. And they didn't end all at once. It took a while for them to fizzle out. But there came a point in time where I finally had to walk away. And I broke it off clean, and I never went back. Doesn't mean I don't still love these people. But because you love someone, doesn't necessarily mean that you can have them in your life. When these relationships were deteriorating, I remember discussing it with my teacher, talking about how distraught I was over it. And he said to me, "How many pieces of yourself are you willing to cut off to maintain that relationship?" The question hit me in the gut. It's a good question. And it asks us to examine within ourselves what our self-worth is, how much we value ourselves. And are we putting the needs of others over and above our own needs to a ridiculous degree? It was that question and a lot of soul searching afterwards that finally got me to the point where I was able to walk away. I'd apologize, I'd listen, I'd make allowances, make excuses, hope, catch the slightest glimpse of change on their part as a sign that things were better, as a sign that things were okay, that the hard times were over. But I was always disappointed. And what was letting me down was not their behavior. What was letting me down was the story I was building, the story I had moved into, and how that collided with the reality of the situation. Once I got over that story, once I saw it for what it was, I was able to look at our relationships in detail from a position of truth and realize that the time had come to put an end to them. It's not easy to do, and it takes a lot of grief in the aftermath. But you wake up one morning and you realize suddenly that you're better off without the poison. Doesn't mean we hate them. Doesn't mean we don't wish them well. But we're not required to carry someone else's pain. We're not required to take that inside and make it our own just for the sake of preserving a relationship that in the end is going nowhere. Till next time.